I haven't had one of these cars in a shop before. I've actually not seen a lot of these. This is a really sweet 1987 Toyota Supra. You guys are going to love checking this thing out. Let's get started. So this just arrived today and it wants a check over. The guy wants to get everything checked over.
Is this a Supra?
Yeah, it actually is a Supra.
Does it have turbos, bro?
Well, it has one turbo.
Only one?
What do you got? Well, because this is a Supra, you come over here and start vaping and saying bro every other sentence?
Yeah, bro.
Whoa. How about you guys just get back to work? How about that?
All right, bro.
All right. So sorry guys for a little fiasco. Got them guys back to work. Let's check this thing out. We'll take a look under the engine bay and we'll look around it and check it out. It is so nice. I don't know guys, to me this thing seems like an Asian version or a Japanese Porsche 944 or a 924. Maybe that's the market they're after or who they're competing against. I've not got much into Supras before, but it is a very sweet looking car. This one is in such nice shape. It is almost like new. Under the engine bay, under the car, you guys are going to see it is so nice. Let's take a look around it. Has the stock wheels. They are in good shape. They're not road rashed or torn up. The side molding's all present. It's not rusted. It's not scraped up. It's got a, what do you call it, Mrs. Wizard? Marshmallow?
Oh, this is pearl marshmallow.
Pearl marshmallow, huh?
Yes, this is pearl marshmallow.
Okay. I guess it looks like a marshmallow that's shiny. As you can see, it is the Turbo Supra. No cracks or breaks or anything in the bumper where anyone's backed into anything. One of the issues the customer's having is that this antenna does not go up and down anymore. And it's the mast that's inside of there. It's broken, the little plastic mast. It won't retract anymore. Again, the wheels over here in very good shape. Has very nice body lines. I really like this car.
So ladies and gents, this interior is amazing. This thing has 94,000 miles and just a smidge over. If you look there, that is crazy. Even though this does have a dash mat on it, that dash mat is to keep the dash pristine. If it's just sitting here. If you look there, it is in amazing condition. It's a really pretty cobalt blue. Lots of standard 80s styling in here. The start to some of the controls on the steering wheel. But again, does have a mix of vinyl and cloth on the door panel. Come back this way, we can see it does have a new stereo put in. I imagine the last one probably had a lovely cassette player. As one thing, it is an automatic. It does have overdrive, which does give it a little bit more, less wear on the transmission, but it is an automatic. Again, lots more of the hard plastic on the center in great shape. Armrest is in fabulous shape, and here is the lovely blue fabric seats. They are in great condition, and they are not too uncomfortable, really. You can see that it was really taken care of. They've kept the floor mats where the person bought this from. They've kept the plastic on it. The door panel behind the Wizard is in good shape. It does, interestingly enough, that is a vinyl headliner. So no sagging happening at all. No weird fingerprints because they can't happen. And again, more cloth in the back seat. Two simple bucket seats back here. And the back hatch area is looking great as well.
Wow, that looks beautiful. I don't know a whole lot about these engines. I'm going to call someone who does. I'm going to call Jared from Wrench Every Day. He will be the guy to know about this car. He was a Toyota technician for many years. Let's give him a ring here. What's up, Jared?
Hey, how's it going?
Looks like you're towing. Are you towing something?
I'm on my way to actually rescue my Scout that has been missing for 14 months.
14 months?
It was moved from the building I rent, and I kept being told it was blocked behind a couple cars, and apparently indoor storage behind a couple cars was in a mud pit sitting under some trees. So we're on our way to get that back, thankfully.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't keep you too long. I've got a really sweet car here in the shop. Let me flip the camera around and you can take a look at it. Look at that.
Oh man, that's a Supra. That's the proper year Supra too, the third generation, by far my favorite one, and that thing looks mint. That has not been modified by people with no money for years and years.
What engine is that?
So that is a 7M GTE. The 7M is a 3-liter inline 6. It's kind of progression of the 5M and 6M, which was in the previous generation Supras. They are known for their ability to produce torque. The 2J Supra that everyone loves makes a lot more horsepower than it does torque. That engine does stock 232 horsepower and 253 foot-pounds of torque, and
Wow.
when you pop them up, they still can make a ton more torque than horsepower.
Wow. This one's like in new condition. I mean, even the bolts still have the cadmium plating on them.
Yeah, just looking quickly, since I am driving, that thing looks. Oh, it does have one demerit though, that clear plastic timing belt cover, but it has the Briggs and Stratton cover right behind it, so that's what we call the coil pack cover. It's always been called the Briggs and Stratton cover, and it looks like that's not too broken. That's a common thing that breaks on them, but
Okay.
man, you do not see them like that hardly at all.
This thing's pretty cherry. It's pretty nice.
Oh yeah. How's it look underneath? Because usually you find pinch welds folded up and rust and a whole bunch of scariness. How is it underneath?
We're going to put it on the lift here in a minute and take a look, but I wanted to get your take on the engine and what kind of mods would you do to this? I don't know, could you tune it or bigger turbo or what?
So it does have an older computer, so generally if you're going to tune it, you end up having to just put a new computer system on. But you can do a couple mods. There's reliability things you should do, and then you can make 30 horsepower for 20 cents on that car.
Wow.
So for the reliability, number one, they're known for their Achilles heel, which is their head gaskets. That was right when you started seeing aluminum heads on cast iron blocks.
Mm-hmm.
And Toyota missed the mark just a little bit on their cylinder head torque specs. So with too much thermal expansion, it would cut through and they'd blow head gaskets.
Right.
And then people would drive it too long with a blown head gasket, and you get coolant in the oil, and it would kill the rod bearings. Or the other thing that happens with rod bearings on those motors are they're very sensitive to oil level. If you run them a little bit low, you can kill your rod bearings and blow the motor that way. The other thing you really have to watch for on a 7M is, and this is unique to the turbo cars, the non-turbos didn't have it, is the factory oil cooling system isn't the smartest thing Toyota did. It has a relief valve built into the housing that anytime it's over a certain pressure, it opens up, sends it to the cooler, and then right back into the oil pan. Well, as that spring fatigues, which they fatigue too quickly on that setup, you just are now bypassing your entire engine with all your pressurized oil. It's going straight from the pump right back into the pan. So you don't get to lubricate anything that needs lubrication. So you see that. You'll see worn cam caps, like a lot of scarring and damage to the cams and cam caps, and that's a big indicator that you've got a problem on your oil cooling system. So those are kind of the big things that are wrong with them as far as what you need to do to update and make it more reliable. As far as modification, step one is my favorite thing. You take some washers and you shim out the wastegate actuator on the turbo.
Oh, okay.
Three on each bolt. You pick up just enough to stay out of boost cut. The protection, factory computer can handle that no problem. And you're going to, again, gain a good amount of horsepower. Beyond that, they love the downpipe, the turbocharger downpipe. They have a restrictive cast elbow.
Mm-hmm.
Replace that cast elbow with a full free-flowing downpipe. And again, you pick up a ton of power that way. And then when you start getting more advanced, you have the turbo on its CT26. You can do a bigger compressor wheel on it. You get a little bit more power from that. Again, computer tuning. There's just so much that you can do to them. The problem is it's rare to see one like that. They've been through so many hands that people haven't taken care of their few problems.
Right.
So they have this bad rap of being a horribly unreliable engine. I don't know if I still do, but for a while I held the record for most power on an unmodified Toyota CT26. On an otherwise stock engine, it did 296 horsepower with 363 foot-pounds of torque, and it was so much fun to drive.
I bet. Wow.
I blew those turbos up a lot. My record was 14 minutes from starting the car to dragging it back to the shop. Because I sent the compressor wheel almost through the hood.
Oh, man.
Questionable choices by over-boosting the crap out of those things.
Questionable indeed. All right, well, I won't keep you too much longer. I definitely wanted to get your take on this engine, and there's a lot of mods that can be done, and I knew you'd be the guy to ask. So.
Oh, yeah, no, I love that. If you wanted a super expert like that, that might be the one. I love that engine. I love that car. Some of the other families, you have two other engines that would have come in that. One's a 1G, which is a 2.0 liter, purely exists because of the displacement tax in Japan.
Yeah.
Not a good engine. They don't make a lot of power. They sound unique, but they don't do anything well. And then kind of the big boy is the 1JZ, which is a 2.5 liter twin turbo, the baby cousin to the Fable 2JZ. And the best chassis that ever came in is a JZA70 twin turbo R. And I just happen to have one that I absolutely love. So
Yeah, it sounds fun.
So now I saw it was white. I have a question. Does it have blue interior and white wheels?
It has blue interior, but the wheels are just alloy aluminum color.
Okay, so I thought that Toyota had a white edition. It really didn't do anything other than come with some special coloring. So if it had the white wheels on it as well, it'd be a white edition that, other than white, blue, and painted wheels, there's nothing special about it. I'm curious, is that dashboard really cracked, or does that actually have a good condition dash?
It was a good condition one.
Okay, so tell your customer, keep it out of the sun. The blue dye and all blue interiors on those cars, whatever it was about what Toyota used, they crack terribly. Of all of the third generation Supras, the ones that will have the most damage are always the blue dashboard. So,
all right, I'll let them know that.
So, man, thank you for showing that to me. I'm glad to share a little bit of the insight on that chassis. To me, the third gen Supra is the best Supra, and that's a beauty. Tell the guy to take good care of it, do the reliability stuff, and enjoy a collector there.
All right, I'll do that. Well, thanks for your time. I'll let you get back to the Scout.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, man.
All right, so there you have it. If you're curious what kind of horsepower figures you could get out of this engine, what it has stock, and the reliabilities of this engine, he was the guy to ask. He definitely had the answers, and I'm glad I called him. It's pretty interesting that this clear timing cover he mentioned, I thought that might have been something that was stock, but apparently that's aftermarket. And I thought that this cover here looked pretty interesting, but he calls it a Briggs & Stratton cover. That's also very interesting. I guess I could see the similarity with like a lawnmower or something or not even a lawnmower, but maybe like a snowblower or something, or anything with a Briggs & Stratton engine. So as you can see, the engine is very, very clean. It's in very good shape. It's not been modified. Just like Jared said, it's not made it through a bunch of hands that have destroyed it. It's in very good shape. Let's go ahead and get this thing on the lift and see what the underside looks like. So I can already tell, just taking a quick glance, this thing is so clean. Even though it has 94,000 miles on it, the underside to me is looking like 4,000 miles. It's really nice. Here's our intercooler, which luckily has not been dinged or damaged or tore up. As we can see, the paint on some of the frame here, the K-member, I guess, or whatever you would call this, is still shiny. It's amazing. We'll take a look at the brakes and the wheels. The brakes are good. Nothing loose there. Looks like it's had new brake hoses put on. Move over to here. New brake hoses. Nothing loose there. This thing's been sitting a long time, so one thing that I always check is there flat spots on the tires. Let's take a look. We'll watch the very bottom here as I spin the tire. Look at that, guys. You can see it going whoop, whoop. Yep, those tires, these tires are brand new. They still have the little nipples on them, and they're trash because it's set for too long. The customer was concerned about a vibration at 50 miles an hour, and that is his vibration. Let's check this tire. I bet it's also the same. Yep, you can see a undulation there. Whoop, whoop. These tires are junk. So this is a situation where you tell a customer you need new tires, and they're like, they are new. I don't care. They're bad. They're trash. They need to come off. That's the vibration that's going on there. Let's move on back here. Nothing leaking there. Our oil pan, really. Here's the transmission oil pan, although it's an automatic, which would be less desirable in a Supra. It would be fine with me. I'm not 17 anymore, and I enjoy an automatic, even in a sports car. We'll take a look up here on the back of the transmission. Everything's dry. Looks nice. Let's go ahead and check this drive shaft here. Uh-oh. That's not a U-joint, guys. That's the center support, the drive shaft support. That bushing is shot. So we'll need one of those. We'll get that on the quote. U-joint's good there. Nothing leaking on the differential. We'll move over to the sides. Brakes are good. Nothing loose. CV shaft's good. The boots are not cracked or torn. Sway bar links and bushings are good. Look at those control arms, the upper control arms, guys. They're still shiny aluminum like brand new. It's amazing. Move over to here. The brakes look good as well. New hoses. Actually, maybe they're not new hoses. Maybe they're just that good of condition. You can see some of the bolts like on this shock absorber. It's still shiny gold from the CAD plating. Maybe it's just in that really that good of shape. Here's our fuel tank. Still has some shiny paint on it as well. All in all, other than the drive shaft support bearing, this thing is in really, really nice shape. I'm amazed on the underneath. It's like brand new. You can tell it's been driven some miles, but it also looks brand new. It's really cool.
Tyler, sir.
Yep.
I think I know why it looks so good.
Why is that?
It's up there.
What's
by
up
the
there?
license tag.
Arizona. Yes. That explains all of this, guys. It's an Arizona car. Completely explains the whole situation. Okay, well that's really cool. Let's go ahead and get this thing on the ground. Well, thanks for following along on this really sweet Supra. And you can see in the background, Magic Mike is making headway on the Ferrari 308 so that we can have another video for you guys. The videos are really doing great, and we're going to try to keep them coming as much as we can. I'm really amazed to have such a nice Supra in here, and I'm glad that Jared from Wrench Everyday got to see it. He was amazed as well. I've talked to him earlier today about it, and he was just in awe. He was like, my goodness. He said, you don't see these in this condition. You just don't. And now you guys have seen it, so it's really cool. It's part of watching the Car Wizards channel. You get to see really cool, sweet cars coming to the shop. If you're curious what kind of tools that we use in the shop, check my Amazon affiliates link in the description below. All my tools are for sale there. We get a small cut and really appreciate it. And make sure you hit the subscribe button because you want to keep up with the projects and see the progress that Magic Mike is making in the background. Thanks for watching.